So we are back in the Tesla Model 3 for this video. So yeah, these are my top 20 tips and tricks for the Model 3. If you're an owner already, you probably already know about some of these. I've been keeping a list of all the things that I've learned along the way for the past couple months. So these are the best 20 tips and tricks that I found for the Model 3. Now, one of the subtle things I like about the Model 3 over a gasoline vehicle is the way you can change between gears, between reverse and drive without pressing the brake, as long as you're doing 5 miles an hour or under. So I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like right now. And I use this all the time. It's very useful. Now I'm in reverse. Okay, I'm going to go reverse 5 miles an hour. And without pressing the brake, I'm going to change it into drive. And now I can immediately, instantly go into drive. Now I'm in drive, right? Now I'm in reverse. Drive. Reverse without pressing the brake, so you can instantly change between gears, which is awesome. So I'm on cruise control right now, and we all know that you can use the right scroll wheel to adjust your cruise control speed. Here's a little tip though: when you're on cruise control and you speed up, maybe you go into a new speed limit zone and you need to go faster. I'm going to speed up. Cruise is still enabled. I'm speeding up, and once you reach your desired speed, you can just hit the scroll wheel. And what that does is it automatically sets your cruise control speed to your new speed without disengaging and re-enabling cruise control. So sometimes you'll need to reboot the car or the touchscreen. For example, if the web browser does not work, maybe it won't load, it's easy to fix that. All you gotta do is reboot the touchscreen. So to do that, you hold down the scroll buttons, both of them at the same time, press and hold for a few seconds, and the display will reboot. And that's called a soft reboot. I like to call it the soft reboot because it only reboots the display. And you can do this while driving the car, and it will let you to continue driving the car, and you can control the car, drive it, all that stuff. You just won't see anything on the screen. It takes about 1 minute or so for the screen to reboot. Now you can also do a hard reboot, which actually reboots the entire car. And that's the same way, the same process. You hold down both scroll wheel buttons, but also press the brake at the same time. So when you press the brake and then hold down both these buttons, you cannot drive while doing a hard reboot. That will do a hard reboot and actually reboot the entire car. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the way the dash and the glove box come finished with the car. It's got the finish on it. It scratches and scuffs pretty easily. I scratched and scuffed mine up within the first few weeks of having my car and with a cloth, and it scared me. I thought it was permanently scratched. But I did some research and I found this awesome 303 UV protectant spray. I'll leave a link, the Amazon link in the description below for you to check out, but I highly recommend putting this stuff on as soon as possible. You can use it on the dash and the glove box on that type of finish in the car. And what it does, it gives it a very nice matte, slick finish that really protects the dash, and it pretty much made all my scuffs and scratches disappear. And now it's protected from future scuffs. So now I use the same cloth that I used to use, and it doesn't show scratches, and it's very slick. It's got a really nice protected finish on it. So highly recommend that. So sometimes the touchscreen can be a little bit cumbersome when you have to tap different areas of the touchscreen, especially while driving. So the app switcher, so if you're right here, the third icon, if you tap on that, you got these little different apps that you can bring up. Web browser, for example, there you go. Now, if I want to quickly bring that up, it brings up the last app. All you gotta do is swipe up, and it brings up the window, the last app that you had open, and you can swipe down as well. So instead of having to actually tap right here and then tap right here and then tap close, you can just swipe up, swipe down, swipe up, swipe down. And you can also do similar things with the music. So if you have the music open, instead of having to tap on the music and then swiping up and then swipe all the way up to bring it full size, if you just tap this album artwork, it does it for you instead of having to actually drag it each time, tap it each time. So, and then also you can do it from here. You can swipe up from the music icon, swipe up, swipe down. So that helps out with the music. And then of course with the volume, you can swipe this way with the volume instead of doing little by little. And it works the same way with the climate control. When the climate control is on, you can swipe left and right, hold down and move left and right to adjust the temperature. A quick way to set autopilot speed to the speed limit if you're on autopilot. So autopilot is engaged right now. If there's a speed limit sign, just tap the speed limit sign and your autopilot will automatically adjust to the speed limit. So when you remotely turn on the climate from the app, it turns on all the seat warmers by default, which is kind of weird. But to quickly turn all of them off without having to individually select all of them, just hold down on the driver's seat and it will automatically turn off all the seat warmers. This next tip is not useful at all. It doesn't do anything. It's just a little hidden Easter egg. So on the app switcher, under the call icon, if you hold down on the call, it changes the word call to AHOY-HOY. So like I said, not useful at all. It's just something fun that the Tesla programmers threw in there. Now we all know that autopilot asks you to keep your hand on the wheel at all times. Some people don't like that. They think it's a nuisance. They'd rather just not have their hands on the wheel at all. In order to do this in a comfortable way without even realizing that you're holding the wheel, and to please autopilot, not have it pop up the alert that you're not holding the wheel, this is the best way. This is the best position I found. So what you want to do is set your seat position and your steering wheel position in a way that you can literally just put your right elbow on the console and then have your right hand right here on the corner of the steering wheel. And when you do this, you're literally you're not holding the wheel at all, like clenching it. You're literally just resting your arm on the console, on the armrest, and then on the steering wheel. It keeps autopilot satisfied enough to where it doesn't alert you, and then you don't even feel like you're holding the wheel. It feels like you're just resting your hand. So that is the best position I found for autopilot. Now, if you've already set your home and work addresses in your Model 3, in order to quickly navigate to one of those, so depending on where you are, if you're at work and you want to navigate home or vice versa, all you gotta do is quickly swipe to the right, like on the navigate button, or swipe down on the navigate button. Either way, they both do the same thing. It'll navigate to home if you're at work, and it'll navigate to work or if you're at home. So just a quick way to navigate to your favorite locations, home and work. And then also, a quick little tip, in the addresses, the recent addresses, if you want to delete something, just swipe right and it'll delete it right there from the recent addresses. Now, if you do see an alert from autopilot, instead of nudging the wheel, you can actually scroll the right scroll wheel and it will dismiss that autopilot alert. So just another alternative way to dismiss the autopilot alert if it doesn't recognize your hands. Now, when you turn on the defroster, it automatically turns on the climate control if you didn't have that climate control on, and it leaves it on after you turn off the defroster. A way to get around that and to actually just turn it all the way off completely, the whole entire climate control, if you turn on the defroster and the defroster is done and you want to turn it off, instead of tapping it here, it leaves the climate control on. So if you just want to turn the whole thing off, hold it down for about 3 seconds and it turns everything off. So next time you turn your defroster on and it's defrosted and you want to just hold down the fan icon for a couple seconds and it will turn everything back off. Now, most owners already know this, but in case you don't, I'll go over it. Now, we all know about the windshield wiper icon on the touchscreen. If you touch that, it brings up the windshield wiper icon, and then you have to touch it again to actually enable the wipers. Well, a quick shortcut to bring up the windshield wiper icon is to not tap it, but to press in on the windshield wiper button on the left stalk. So if you press in, it turns the wipers on one time, but it also brings up the windshield wiper icon on the touchscreen. If I need to initiate the wipers, what I usually do is I just press the left windshield wiper button and then turn it on from here. So it's a press in and then a tap instead of doing a 2-tap. Now, what I would love to see, this in a future software update, would be the ability to double press the windshield wiper button on the stalk to actually turn on the wipers without needing to touch the screen at all, which will bring us into our next tip, which is the bug report. So when you have voice activation with the right scroll wheel, right? If you press in, you can do voice activation, voice commands. Well, one of the voice commands you can do is the bug report. So if I press the voice activation and say bug report, you can give Tesla your feedback. So I'll do that right now. Bug report, I would love to be able to turn on my wipers by double tapping on the left windshield wiper button. And you can see that it said, thanks for your feedback. So that hopefully got sent to Tesla, and maybe we'll see that in a software update. Now, if you have your settings set to show the rated mileage here by the battery, you can see it has 199 miles of rated range left. To get a better, more accurate estimated range left, use the energy graph because this will go based on your last 30 miles. So while you're traveling, this will give you a better, right here, this is the projected range, which it says 186 miles projected range based on my last 30 miles. And that will give you a little bit better, more accurate projected range than just going by the rated range on the battery next to the battery up here. So try to use the energy graph instead of using this. Now, some people don't actually realize this, but the Model 3 does have a 12-volt socket inside of it to charge, you know, like dash cams or phone chargers, stuff like that. It's right inside the center console, right there. So this is the screen. There's your 12-volt socket. Now, everybody loves romance mode. It's a big hit, right? So it turns on the heater and automatically puts this nice romantic fire on the screen. Well, what if you don't want to? What if you don't want to have the heater on? Say you want to have romance mode in the summer, you know, why not? Well, the only way to turn the heater off, you can't do anything on the screen while romance mode is enabled. The only way to turn it off, go to your climate and turn it off from there. And now the heat is off, but the fire's still going strong. So we all know that when you're in drive and you press and hold on the brake, it gives it this hold function to where you can let your foot off the brake, but it doesn't go anywhere. It stays parked, basically, it stays braked, but you're still in drive. Well, sometimes you forget to actually put it in park, and sometimes you'll open the door. But if you open the door and when it's on hold, it automatically puts the car into park. Just for those times that you think you have it in park when really it's in hold, it will automatically park for you just to stay safe. Now, most owners already know this, but if you don't, make sure you're setting your daily limit no more than 90% of your battery just for your daily driving. This will maximize your battery life. The only time you should be charging over 90% is if you're going on a trip. For normal daily driving, I set mine to 80%. And that seems to be the consensus amongst Tesla owners, how to maximize your battery life. So this was going to be one of my tips. However, I left it here at the very last because I think Tesla just fixed this in a software update. You used to be able to, like, whenever you had your car plugged in, even if you had your phone in your pocket with Bluetooth enabled, like what I have now, my phone's in my pocket with Bluetooth on. If you tried to unlock this, if you try to press the button, it would stay locked. It wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't even unlock the car. So the tip was to just gently press in on this rear door. If you gently press in on this, it would unlock the car, which would allow you to unlock the charging cable. But now, I think, like, I just tested it out like twice and it works. So you can now unlock the charging cable with your phone in your pocket if Bluetooth is enabled. So there you go. Those are my top 20 or 19 tips and tricks for the Tesla Model 3. I hope you enjoyed this video. If I left out any tips and tricks that you know about, make sure you leave them down in the comment section below and share them with everybody. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you out, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more Tesla videos in the future. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.